This is the Spokane Valley Mall, one of 3 malls in the Spokane area, as far as I figure it. And we are in Spokane Valley. Again, I was here just Saturday. This is Tuesday. And it's a hot day out today. And hopefully the mall is air conditioned. Actually, right now there's a nice light breeze, so it's not that bad, even though it's close to 35 Celsius, 96 Fahrenheit, something like that. That's not even the mall, that's the satellite of the mall. When I was at the Northtown Mall, remember I said this is in some ways an urban mall, and this is what I'm talking about. This is a truly suburban mall. You can see how big those parking lots are. And on a hot day like today, they're picking up heat and radiating it. Also, not very much utilized. So I'm going to walk this way. I think this is the main entrance, and I also want to show just how big some of those parking lots are because they go a lot this way. You can see over in that direction, just acres and acres more parking, mostly unutilized. It's a Tuesday afternoon right now. That's the main entrance, and that's where I'm going to go over towards. And as is often the case, but hasn't been the case so much lately, I don't know what type of footage I'm going to get inside. I'm going to try to be non-annoying. So nice entrance. Ooh, and air conditioned. That is really nice. There's the food court. You can see it's not very busy. Of course, like I said, Tuesday afternoon. And as you can see, I'm a little bit surprised about this. This is a 2-story mall, or a split-level mall. You can see that's ground floor over there. Didn't realize we were on so much of a slope, although part of that could be an artifact of construction. You can see it's big and colorful. I like that there's light coming in. Not very busy right now. We'll see if it's also has closed storefronts, but it seems kind of quiet. We've got palm trees down this median, celebrating the famous tropical, balmy climate of Spokane and Eastern Washington. On the other hand, I really do like this open, light, a skeletonized walkway here. You can also see down at the end of this walkway, we have Macy's. There's JCPenney's, and there's even a Sears. So we do have 3 anchors here, and I haven't seen any empty storefronts. So I'd say that it looks like it's in pretty good condition. A lot of looks well kept, anchors, stores. One thing I'm not noticing a lot of people, but maybe that's the time of day. Now I'm on the first/basement floor, and don't really have anything else to add. Actually, it looks a little bit more busy down here, maybe because there's more small shops or something. But yeah, not a lot more to add about what I'm seeing here. So I walked all the way down to the other end. One thing is this mall isn't quite as big as I thought it was. I was going to say it looks substantially larger from the outside than the Northtown Mall, but I think that might just be because it has parking lots and satellites around it. The actual mall, once you're inside, isn't that big. Of course, not that big is relative. If you look over there, that is I-90, and it's going east into Idaho pretty soon. And I talk about how big this mall is. This might be the biggest mall between here and somewhere in Minnesota. Maybe Fargo, maybe Billings. I think it's larger than the Missoula Mall, and that would be the largest until Bozeman, Billings, Fargo. So yeah, it's still pretty big compared to what it is. That might also be the reason for why it is here, is that it might get a lot of customers from Idaho coming here. There might be different things or different taxes. So that is why we have this here. And here it says Hops and Drops, a neighborhood gathering place. If you look at where this is, there's a freeway on one side, then there's railroad tracks and the river and that big old Indiana Avenue on the other. There really probably is very little residential foot track into this. Unlike Northtown Mall, which probably didn't get a lot, but at least some. This is very much, I think, a mall people drive to, which is why you have big old parking lot. That is new for me, a sheriff's office in the mall. It's not that Vancouver's Mall's library was strange enough. Okay, for some reason I always thought Lids, which I'd seen signed for, was like a cannabis store. It's not, it's a sports store. Also, somebody walked by and said nobody's here on a Tuesday, so maybe that is the case. Even for nobody being here, there's a lot of people being here, though. Anyway, I'm walking down this side of the concourse again. Not really a lot to say, and I don't have any personal stories or special insights, so not a lot to say, other than, for some reason, I don't know why, this does remind me of the Tres Rios Terra Mall. Back at the food court where I came in, interesting, there's a Cinnabon Svaros Ethiopian Cafe. So it's interesting that, like, I was expecting, or you would expect in a place like this, you'd have a KFC and a Taco Bell, stuff like that. And it's all a little bit better than that, and not, besides the Cinnabon chains. So that might be a deliberate thing on purpose, that they want to make it more classy dining, so to speak. Or it could be that those companies have interests elsewhere. But I did notice that, and that was a little bit of a surprise. And we're outside. That's the entrance we came in. And over here, you can see, like, there's even more parking lots. You can also maybe see why I think it looks bigger on the outside. It's the opposite of a TARDIS, because that over there is Macy's. When I was in there, I mean, it was a fair-sized mall, but I just walked up and down that concourse. And here it looks gigantic. Maybe that's the effect of the parking lots and the satellites. So, yeah, don't really know what to say about that particular mall. So today I decided to go somewhere. I wanted to go somewhere air-conditioned. So I chose this mall kind of at random. And, you know, even though I'm not trying to be like a snotty urbanist or making fun of, like, suburban malls, sometimes when I go places like that, I feel, you know, it's kind of interesting. It has an energy of its own. Today it kind of just felt blank in there. It's like I went there. It was nice enough. I liked the architecture, the big, open, light concept. You know, it looked pretty busy. But don't really have a lot more to say about that mall. Like I said, it's also interesting. This might be the last mall until Minnesota. Still, just don't feel too much about it one way or the other. But you also saw, and you can tell, and you know a little bit more about Spokane now. Now, actually, I might do one more thing before I go home, but that's the end of the mall.